Welcome back to the Feral Backpacker channel. We last left off in the Apalachicola National Forest. This time, my journey takes me through the infamous swamps of Bradwell Bay Wilderness and the beautiful spring-fed creeks of Econfina.
I'm passing the Sopchoppy River, and there's an easy access point here, and I'm reading up ahead that water can be a little iffy for a pretty long stretch, so I'm going to go ahead and snag a leader here, even though it's going to add some weight pretty early on. But yeah, we'll be making our way into Bradwell Bay, and fingers crossed it's not too bad. Well, this is actually quite the beautiful spot down here. Some raccoon tracks here. Looks like they came for water too.
Now topped off on water, I started making way.
Oh yeah, we are already hitting water, and this water is cold. After the cold mornings we've been having. Oh yeah, it's chilly. And it's suctiony.
Bradwell Bay Wilderness is known for its mud that suctions shoes right off your feet, chest-deep water, and the need for bushwhacking. I have read many reports of backpackers who passed here previously before me who also reported encountering water moccasins. Needless to say, I had a bit of caution and reservation on my mind today.
Yeah, it was pretty boggy through there. I had to remember to start filming a little bit of it. I was just focused on what I was doing.
As luck would have it, it is extremely dry right now, and this would spare me from the chest-deep water, but not from the suctiony mud, the bushwhacking, and the knee-deep water, which still lie ahead. Nice sandy bottom in here. So some of these areas have a real muddy bottom to them. Suctiony. So you almost can't get out or it wants to take your shoe. But
Luckily, this one is sand, but this water is very cold. Definitely very slow going coming through here in Bradwell Bay. Water levels are not at their worst from what I've seen, but it still has water and it's making for slow going with the mud. Well, hopefully we've seen the last of the bogs. It's opened up into this sunny, drier area, and well, that was a slow slog through there for sure.
Fortunately, because of the conditions found here, the average pace was half to 1 mile per hour and made recording next to impossible due to the bushwhacking and to the need to use both hands to grab limbs for balance. To this point, all reports of this area's obstacles and challenges have been spot on. So I basically recorded where I could to capture this wilderness.
Cute little raccoon on this tree over here, just below the orange blaze. I don't know how well he's showing up, but he's just there checking me out. Cool little guy. I think he hopped up there just to see who I was. This whole Bradwell Bay area, it just won't give up. Just when you think you're done with water, you get more water. Well, guys, one of the things that I love about the Florida Trail is finding historical places and seeing all the history throughout the state of Florida, like this here, which is an old pioneer home. An old pioneer homestead.
This is known as the Langston House, and it was built around the turn of the century, circa 1904. Although the land had been farmed by the mid-1800s, the Langston House provided important clues about the life of Florida's earliest and poorest settlers.
Man, if places could tell stories, this one sure would probably have a lot of them. Still remnants of the old wood stove here. Wow, just look at the wood panel walls, tin ceiling.
Being here in places like this really forces me to imagine the difficulty and struggle that these early settlers had in their everyday lives just to survive. And getting here the way that I did on foot through the surrounding wilderness really gave me some perspective on the degree of struggle there was.
I think it's so amazing that these kinds of places are still standing and around for us to just explore. Check out the size of this oak situated just behind this homestead, and it was most certainly already here before they even built the home. Good morning. Got a little bit of a road walk this morning, but it's another beautiful day. The sun is just coming up over the horizon, and the weather has just been incredible since the several days of rain. Hopefully the trail is forgiving today and we can make up some time, because yesterday was very slow and that bog and swamp was really gave me vibes of down south in the Big Cypress. But it wasn't as long as Big Cypress, though. It was substantially shorter than several miles at least, and then just water after that. Very slow going in there. At one point it was so slow I did like a half a mile in an hour. So the swamp just sucks the energy out of you. But we'll see what today brings. Little log crossing here.
Today would see me continuing through the massive Apalachicola National Forest.
Thankful for that. Just got to be careful on this. Part of this has the chicken wire, which is nice, but you can get really slippery. A random boot. Big difference between the trail yesterday and today. Today seems to be much more recently cared for, much more clear and passable. Yesterday I saw quite a bit of bushwhacking, and also trail conditions are just better overall here too. So making some good progress early on here. Interesting how this culvert found its way out here. Yeah. Strange. Pretty cool stick bug here. Barely make them out. Super cool.
I would set camp and enjoy a beautiful starlit night.
Beautiful morning at camp today, and you would think that it was raining, but it's just the water dripping off of these pine trees and onto the tent. I don't know if it's coming out, but you can still see the frost on the plants. this morning. Chilly morning.
The next section that I was highly anticipating was the Econfina Creek, and that's where I find myself coming through today. Much of this river's flow comes from 11 named springs or spring groups consisting of more than 36 vents. Besides the beauty of this area, it's also interesting historically. More than 120 archaeological sites have been identified in the Econfina Creek watershed, including many prehistoric sites. Paleo-Indian arrowheads about 7,000 years old have been found at some of the sites, when humans first entered Florida about 12,000 years ago. Coming across the 60-foot suspension bridge known as Two Penny Bridge was also really cool.
Wow, guys, this is one of the coolest bridges you'll come across. Two Penny Bridge. And it's a pretty substantial suspension bridge, as you can see. Things have pretty drastically warmed up since I left this morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and shed some layers and then get back on trail. Very cool waterfall right over here. Nice. I don't know what's going on with my Far Out app today, but it is not picking up my location for some reason. Luckily, this section of trail is easy to navigate, but certainly glad it didn't do this in Bradwell Bay. That would have been very bad. Let me know if you've had that issue with Far Out where it just says get your location and just doesn't show you where you are on the trail at all. This area has had a little bit of a burn. There are just countless tributaries that flow into the main creek along this route. Very beautiful. Section's really clear and making good time and speed on here, which is great. But yeah, we're basically snaking our way and paralleling the main creek. A little bit of a roller coaster feel to it as you're going up and down some of these little side tributaries. There was even a comment from somebody that mentioned how it reminded them of a roller coaster, and I'd have to agree. It's so crazy. I've come across this a couple times back in the central part of the state on the trail, where you just find random cut off pairs of jeans. It's crazy. That's really cool to come across that hawk feather there. I've always had a thing with hawks on my travels and always found them to be a good omen and a guide in a way. Like, they always seem to assure me that I'm on the right path or heading the right direction, or at any rate, they're pretty encouraging to me along the journey. But let me know if you have anything similar with an animal that you encounter repeatedly on your travels and they just happen to come around at, specific times, or, a time that's helpful or anything like that.
I would find an incredible campsite next to the creek. I hope you have enjoyed this journey as much as I have, and hope you'll join me on the next one.